Switch on this fridge and put a bottle of water in it. Give this fridge something to work on. It needs that.
Make sure you do that in that right sequence.
Absolutely. So you might even want to get a black texture or something and press first. So press that. So you get your crank handle, wind it down, that'll drop the tyre down underneath, and then you can unscrew it and change it over.
So we've just stopped at Balan, which is a little servo on the highway coming back from Ballarat. Okay, so we've just received the call from Travis from Southern Design RV.
Yes.
And he said, Martin and Susan, come on down and pick up your caravan, and it looks schmicko, yeah?
Yes.
It looks a treat. Yeah. So we're driving along Alexander Parade in Melbourne, heading towards the West Gate on our way out to the western suburbs, out to Ballarat. We live in South Yarra in Melbourne, and we're driving along the leafy suburbs, which will take...
Another rainy afternoon, I don't know what I'm to do. I just miss you more than anything. It's way too quiet in the house, I'm just wasted on the couch. Guess I don't wanna feel anything. Wish you'd stayed here beside.
Off to pick the caravan up.
This isn't how it's supposed to be. Wish you'd stayed here right with me. I can't shake that feeling that we said goodbye too soon. I know the hour's getting late, I shouldn't sit here and contemplate. I just can't stop thinking about it.
Well, congratulations on the purchase of your new van.
Thanks, Ed.
Exciting day.
This is it.
This is it, with the blue ribbon on it, ready to go. Now, what we're going to do today, because of the inclement weather, it's going to be a different, I suppose, schedule to things.
Yes.
So we'll start on the outside, we'll walk our way all the way around the van. Then we'll head inside, we'll talk about the warranty and different factors like that. And whilst we're doing that, we'll head back outside. Well, they'll take this caravan back outside, and then we'll do the inside of the caravan last. It'll be out of the weather then, so it'll be quite okay. So let's start off down this end of the caravan with your 2 gas bottles. These are already filled with gas, ready to go. So you can start camping on them straight away. Now, what I have done is I've turned them both off.
Yes.
So the gas is ready to travel. Up here, you'll notice there's a little green lever.
Yep.
At the moment, it's pointing to this hose here. So what that's telling you is it's taking the gas off this bottle here.
Yeah.
When you exhaust the supply of gas in this bottle, you can turn it over.
And then it goes on to the other.
Then you can run on the other one. So the idea is you exhaust one supply, then you can change it whilst you're using the other gas.
Is that a neutral off position?
That's the off position, yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I would turn it off at the gas bottles.
Yes.
If you do that. And please excuse this banging. My apologies.
No,
Now you do have here a key lockable toolbox. If you press the little button in that's it. Lift it up. Now it does have a rubber seal around the top of the box.
Yep.
Just be aware that it's only got aluminium checker plate, so you can still get condensation form inside the box.
Okay.
So whatever you store in here, I wouldn't put things in here that you're worried about a bit of moisture.
100% waterproof, yeah.
There we go. So we just push that down and press the little cap back on top, and that keeps the water out of the lock. You've got a carrier both sides of the box, which is for your jerry cans.
Jerry's, yeah.
So you can put in there a diesel or a water jerry can, and yes, it's got a chain. So you can lock that down with a padlock to avoid theft. Now coming down this side of the van, over here you've got a cold water tap.
okay.
That's for cold running water outside, if you're cooking, doing those sorts of things.
Yes.
So it's a nice, convenient location to get it. Also, when you first go to a caravan park, a powered site, and you've got a water supply there,
Yes.
and you hook up your water, that's a good place to come to open it up and bleed any airlocks out.
Oh, okay.
So when you first hook up your water, bleed your airlocks out, probably do it at that tap, and then you're good to go.
And that will bleed out for all the infrastructure in the van?
That'll get most of it, yes.
Oh, that's gold, thank you.
Now this hatch here is your tunnel. It's fully galvanised. So you've got all this storage straight through, and you've got touch lights. Now you'll see they've got a blue, that's off, now that's blue, and touch it again. white LED.
Oh,
so the
wow.
blue light is actually the off position.
Yeah.
The reason why you've got that small light is so you can find it at night time. It's easier to find.
Of course.
And turn it on. So you've got all that space in there.
Oh, that's gold.
Now directly below your tunnel, you have a gas bayonet fitting.
Okay.
So just down here, it's one of those quick push-in, twist style fittings, so you can power up a barbecue, an outdoor kitchen, or any of those items if you want to.
Lovely. And once that plugged in, there's no switching for it. Once it's being used, that's
No,
fine.
it uses the upward pressure and twist to activate it.
Yeah.
Now behind this gas bayonet fitting, there is a tap,
Okay.
so you can isolate it if you want to.
Okay.
Every gas appliance throughout the Caravan has got a gas isolation tap.
Okay.
You don't need to turn them off.
Okay.
So you'll find one for the stove and the hot water service.
So if I'm isolating from there, it doesn't isolate everything past it. It just isolates
just
it in
isolates
isolation.
that fitting only.
Okay.
And the idea is if you think there's something faulty with an appliance or a fitting,
Yeah.
you can isolate that fitting. You can still use everything safely throughout the Caravan.
Okay.
Allow to bring it down.
Yes.
You can angle it,
Okay.
and sometimes it actually helps to angle it a little bit.
Okay.
When you wind the feet out, those will actually pivot
Okay, yeah.
and take it to the ground. Now on here you've got this 19mm hex drive
Yes.
point. Under your bed you've got a crank handle to wind that up and down with.
Yeah.
Now one thing we would ask you please don't do is please don't level the Caravan with these stands. So if the Caravan's at a level, chock up the wheels, put something underneath the tyres, and then only put these down enough just to support each corner,
Okay.
to stop it from moving around. So there are your stands. Now when you're travelling with them, I suggest, hang on, that you store them pointing to the back of the Caravan. That way if it drops, it won't cause any damage when you're
Yes.
travelling.
Okay. Because if it's here, it's going to pivot itself and pole vault, right?
Yes, exactly. If you're travelling and it hits something when it drops,
She's
it's done. Whereas here, it won't matter.
It'll just skip a bit.
It'll just skip. Yep. There we go. Now directly
What's that valve there?
underneath here, so I was just about to show you that.
Yeah.
The same crank handle that winds these stands up will wind this up and down.
Yes.
Your spare tyre is in underneath
Oh,
there.
of course. Okay.
So you get your crank handle, wind it down, that'll drop the tyre down underneath, and then you can unscrew it and change it over if you need to. Now over here we've got some power sources. You've got a double USB port here, a 12 volt socket, a TV aerial port, a 240 volt outlet. There we go.
Yeah.
And your TV bracket. So all of your power needs are supplied here,
Yeah.
near the picnic table.
Okay. Excellent.
And I just remembered I need the keys. I'll quickly grab them.
Okay.
So on your keychain,
Yes.
you need a key to unlock this table.
Yes.
Now you'll have to excuse my humour, it's a man thing,
Yes.
but there's a key here that says on a 12:12, and I always remember that it's after 12 o'clock it's time for lunch. So a man thinks with his stomach,
Okay.
and that's how I remember it's the picnic table key.
Works for me.
So if you put that in there and bring it down, we open it up.
Yep.
Now you can use this picnic table for most things. One thing we'd ask that you please don't do with it is high temperature cooking.
Okay.
So things like propane cookers and the like, please don't use them here. Just in case you get heat up here, it could cause a fire. Also if you damage this
Induction
splashback.
cooking.
Induction
Because
cooking.
induction is localised. to
Yeah,
the
that
source,
should be all right.
Doesn't
We're thinking
emanate
more
any heat.
of direct heat
Okay.
fat
Yeah.
on this
Okay.
thing. You can still use your toaster or your kettle here
Yeah.
or whatever else you want to do. But just intense heat, please keep it away from
Okay,
you.
done. Good tip.
I think most people, when they do cooking, generally set up another table anyway. They'll have a little camp
Yeah, the
table
kitchen table, yeah.
and they'll do it up. There we go. So that's your picnic table there. Now you'll see these tyres here. We're running those on 50 pounds per square inch.
Okay.
So that's the pressure in the tyres. And if you need to replace these tyres, always look for the ARV symbol on the side of
Okay.
the chassis. You'll see one of these on both sides. That's the lifting point there for the jack.
Okay.
So always jack it from that point, and we have a jack for you underneath the bed as well. So
this is the jacking point.
the jack just hooks in to this point here
Yeah.
under the ARV symbol. Now your main door, on your keychain, you have a large black oval key.
Yep.
That's your master key for the door. At the moment you'll see the handle is standing upright. that means it's unlocked.
Okay.
So you just pull on that to use it. You get your key to lock it, put it in the lock, a quarter turn anti-clockwise, and back up. Let's flatten the handle. Now that door's locked.
Okay.
A quarter turn clockwise, and back up has unlocked the door. Now you can snap this ring up if you want to, and pin the door back. There we go. And there is a bit of tension on the stopper down there. That's normal. It's
Yes.
just to stop the door rattling in the wind when it is hooked back.
Okay, excellent.
So that's how. That's why there's a bit of tension. You've got to pull it back against the wall a bit.
Oh yeah, I can see that there. So it's a bit of positive pressure.
There's a bit of positive pressure. It's nice and firm. That won't rattle in the wind. Now, if you want to split the doors and turn this into a screen door, you'll see this large handle down here. That's the handle that releases the door.
Okay.
Now, it's a two-stage process. It's locked at the moment. You can't just pull that handle up. So if I pull this little lever here sideways very gently and then lift the handle up,
Okay.
that will split the door.
And that's locked at several points too.
This
Is that for security?
this
is
here
it?
actually locks at 4 points.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very important when you close this door to please give it a good little shove.
Yes.
All 4 of those points must engage, otherwise when you turn the key, you won't be able to
Okay.
turn the key. It won't let you do it. Now if I bring this back together, this door locks in at 2 points, so make sure it locks in top and bottom. There we are, that's locked in
Yeah,
both points.
nice and positive.
And here you've got a little knob on the back of the door. With that you can lock and unlock the door from the inside.
Okay.
So we look at there, there we go. That's opening and closing the handle. Now over here we've got your night light. What this is for is, let's say you decide, I can't be bothered cooking dinner tonight, we're heading
Yeah.
into town. Before you head off, the campsite's dark, you press this button once and you get a little blue light that backlights that handle. So the idea is when you come back from dinner, the campsite's dark, you'll find this handle quickly because it's easy to see. Press it again, you've got light, you can find your keys, you can get into the van and turn all the lights on.
Excellent.
Now up here with your awning, at the moment it's stashed and stowed against the side of the van.
Yes.
If it's windy, say it's 30 or 40 km/h winds or more, please don't pull it down.
Okay.
So in windy conditions, put it back up.
Okay.
If the wind gusts get up when it's down, I would put it back up. It can get damaged. Now underneath your bed you've got a rod-like hook. I've got one here that I prepared earlier.
Okay.
This is the little hook here. You'll find one of those under your bed. To unlock this awning, both of these arms are locked up at the moment. We come in behind the arm and there's a little slide lock that we slide up. I just push that up
Okay.
and then we loosen off the knob just a little bit
On both sides?
on both sides. So we'll do that over here too. So you press it up in the centre, that's it, and then loosen off that knob. That's excellent. Now down this end of the cylinder,
Yes.
on the very end of it, you'll see a little lever.
Yes.
You get your hook, you hook it over the lever gently and pull that lever down,
Okay.
like so.
That's like a fail-safe locking device. Or
That's
something, is
correct.
it?
It's got like a ratcheting device.
Okay.
So that's now set it up so we can pull it out.
Yes.
What we do then is we get this hook, put it in the strap and pull it outwards. Now that strap should be in the middle
Yes.
of the awning, but we'll sort that out when we put it back. There we go, that's come all the way down.
And it's just a track system anyway for the strap, yeah.
Just for the strap,
So this
yes.
disengages gears, that's all it does.
That's
locks
all
in.
it does,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's either going up or it's going down.
Yeah.
Now on both arms, you have one of these support arms. That pushes into the black button here.
Yes.
I'll push that down.
Okay.
See that black button there?
Yep.
That's how it clips in.
Yep.
And then there's 2 ways that you can lift this awning up. One is you can leave it attached to the van as it is at the moment.
Yes.
The other way is you can push on this lever here and pull the arm out and swing it down.
Just steady it up on the ground at right angle.
You'd have to peg it to the ground, yes. We'll just leave it attached to the van at the moment. Now to lift this up, you've got a handle This is like a grab handle, and behind it you've got a spring-loaded
Okay.
catch, and that locks into different points along this rail. So what we do is we just slide it up.
I'll do that one.
We might have to put the other arm. So slide this one up here first. Clip it in.
So it's got the depressed button.
It's probably not going to like the fact that I've...
It's a bit out of kilter, I can see that.
And then you've got that handle there. So
Best
you
to be
want
on
to,
the inside?
You don't have to, you can do it on the outside. So it's got to sort of do it like that. That's it. So slide it up. And let go of the little catch.
And is there set stop points where it goes?
Yes,
I
you've
can
got
see
a whole
all
pile
the
of
pivot
little
points there.
pivot points there. Now it can go higher, but we'll just leave it there for a minute.
And that just then comes back like that, yeah?
Once it's up, all you do is you just push down on these arms, tighten up these knobs.
Yes. And that then just puts pressure on that.
Puts
positive
tension on the
pressure.
canvas like that. There we go. Now see how the drum's on an angle at the moment?
Yes.
In a situation like today where it's raining, you can put the drum on an angle like this. That'll allow the water to run off down one end so you don't get a swimming pool effect
Yes.
in the middle of your canvas. So that's basically how you put it up. And you can take that out if you take it all the way down the other end as well.
Yeah. It normally just lives in situ, I guess.
If you get a strong wind day, you can actually blow it out of the track. It'll go all the way down here
Yes.
and blow out,
Okay.
and then you'll lose it. So it's actually a good idea to take it out
When it's down. Yeah.
when it's down and put it in the side of the van where it's
Okay.
safe. Now to bring it down is just the opposite. We loosen off these two knobs up here.
Yep.
So we loosen those off. That's it.
Yep.
And I would suggest that you always stand on the outside, because when you drop this down, you get caught underneath and you've got to bend down and get out from
Good tip.
underneath it. So we'll get outside. All right.
So the first one
Is this one.
Oh, okay.
It's this one here. So we hold that up, just pull it up a little bit to take pressure off it, and then slide it down. That's it. And now you press the black button up here and slide this back.
And then just put a bit of positive pressure and tighten that up yet, or not
You
yet?
don't need to tighten it up, because when it retracts back up, it will move a little bit.
Okay.
So leave that loose for the minute.
Yes.
Now we're going to retract it up. Now there's two ways you can do this.
Okay.
If you have two people, it's nice and easy. One can stand in the middle, hold onto the strap nice and tight, and the other person can flick the lever and away it goes.
Okay.
Let's say you've only got one person.
Yes.
There's a technique.
Okay.
What you do is you grab the strap. We'll put it in the slide. There we go. Bring it down closer to this end where the lever is.
Yes.
Have the hook in your hand. Hold onto this strap really tight,
Okay.
because as soon as you flick the lever, it will want to retract up.
Okay, I'll get away from you.
Absolutely. So what I do is I just pull down a bit, flick the lever forward,
Yes.
put my hand on top of the drum and slide it along.
Okay.
Put it somewhere towards the centre of the van. Now put your strap on a slight angle.
Okay.
So when it's going up, it's retracting on an angle. And then next time you do it, change the angle. Keep moving it around.
Okay.
If you put it in the same position and do it in a straight line every time, you're going to get a groove down your canvas.
Okay.
So by changing the angle and moving the position in the centre, that will keep your canvas in better condition.
Excellent. Good tip. And then,
Then you
just
just-
positively tighten these up.
I'll just slide this one down first, lock
Okay.
that one in, and then tighten that knob up.
Down, tighten up. And that's the lock there. Okay.
That's it. So that's all nice and tight. That's ready to travel.
Excellent.
So that's your awning.
These ones here, for the same reasons, it doesn't jackknife always towards the
Always
back.
pointing towards
Same
the back.
principle.
Now with your Aussie Traveller awning,
Yes.
you'll see down here it says Aussie Traveller.
Yes.
You can actually view that again on YouTube.
Okay.
So just type in Aussie Traveller as a search, and they've got a full tutorial on how to do their
Thank you,
awnings.
Anthony.
So that's available too.
Cheers.
Now coming around here, you've got a camera mounted on the back of the van.
Yes.
Underneath the bed, you've got a box with a monitor.
Yes.
Now this camera has got also a microphone
Yes.
in here, and your monitor for the car has got a speaker.
Excellent.
So you can hear the person out the back talking, and also you can see your blind spot when you're driving down the road. So
Yes.
it's on not just when you're backing it in, but also
Yes.
when
So you
you're
can have that
driving
on
down the road.
permanently.
Have it on permanently.
Okay.
Now this vent here is just a dummy vent.
Okay.
What it's for is it's the back of your shower.
Okay.
The reason why it's there is if we want to get into plumbing and things like that later on.
Access.
It's just an access point. So coming around to this side of the Caravan, we have a generator hatch.
Yes.
So this is fully galvanised and sealed. So this would be a good place to possibly put a small generator, or
Yes.
if you don't have a generator, maybe your hoses and things.
Okay.
Just because it's sealed, it's probably a good place to put those types of things. Now this is the most important part of the whole tour.
My word.
This is your toilet cassette. So you'll notice it's got a T-shaped handle at the front.
Yes.
You lift that up and that will slide out. It's got a handle on here. There's wheels.
Little luggage
You can
case.
pull the handle out and you can do your walk of shame through the Caravan in style.
Everybody says the walk of shame.
Now, if you're having trouble pulling this out,
Yes.
please don't force it. When it's inside, it's connected up to the toilet and there's a little lever with a flap that you open and close on the toilet. If that flap is in the open position, it does this. And it will not allow you to pull the cassette out.
Okay.
So instead of forcing it, head back inside, make sure that flap is shut correctly on the toilet. That'll line it up and then it will slide in and out easily.
Done.
Now to empty this is the most important part of the whole tour. Before you take this cap off,
Yes.
please press this button here first.
So it doesn't explode at you.
It's a pressure release valve.
Everybody says to me, make sure you do that in that right sequence.
Absolutely. So you might even want to get a black texture
Yeah.
or something and right
Press
there, press
first.
first. So press that first, then take the cap off it.
Yeah.
Now
Or
from
get a
this
Sharpie.
from this cap here, this is where you tip it out into the pit at the Caravan park.
Yeah, dump point.
They will have a hose there. Flush it out 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Put your cap on. Now you may need to hold onto that button to release the pressure so that it will come out easily.
Okay.
And you also use special chemicals. We've got a bottle of it inside the van
Yep.
that breaks down the toilet paper and the solids so it's easier to clean out.
Yes.
And then that just slots in like that, ready to go.
Right.
Excellent. So that's your toilet cassette hatch.
Thank you.
Now your 2 water tanks are filled individually
Yes.
from these 2 points here. So on your keychain, you will have, in your case, you've done well, 1 key does both caps. It looks like they've managed to key them alike. So you have to fill each tank separately.
Yes.
They're not joined together for the filler. And you just put a hose in there, fill each one up, and away you go. Now down below here, we have your dirty grey water runoff point.
Yes, okay.
So this is a 25mm barbed fitting.
Yep.
If you're at a caravan park, you put your hose on, run it all the way back to the sullage pit, then pull this lever forward, that will open it up and allow the water to run out.
Okay.
If you're in a free camping condition where you want to store the water, leave this valve where it is at the moment, and that'll store the water in the tank down there.
Okay. And there's indicators inside to let us know when it's at capacity?
Yes, in fact on the screen, tank number 4 is your dirty grey water
Okay.
tank.
Thank you, Anthony.
Now over here you've got a freshwater tank.
Yes.
This is a 95 litre tank.
Yes.
Now you'll notice on the back, it's on the front here, it's got this black tap.
Yes.
That's your drainage point. So
Okay.
if you want to drain the tank, you can. Now the front, this tap here at the back, see how it's in line with the
Yes.
hose? That means it's on, and that's heading up to your water pump.
Okay.
If you want to turn it off,
Just to isolate it for whatever reason?
90 degrees like that.
Done.
So you can isolate each tank if you want to.
Okay.
Turn that back on. Now let's say you've got both tanks on and you notice on your indicator one tank's going down but the other tank is not.
Yes.
That means there's an airlock between the tanks.
Oh, okay.
This is how you fix it. You turn one tank off,
Yes.
leave the other one on,
Yes.
run your water pump, open up a tap and bleed the airlock out,
Okay.
and then do vice versa. Now you turn this one on,
And same
turn
with
the other one off,
Yes.
run the water pump, open up a tap, and when you finish that process and open up the 2 valves again, both the water tanks should be drawing water at the same time
Okay.
from the pump. So that's your water pump, your water pump access there. Now this little point here is where you put your mains pressure water in, so a standard garden hose fitting will clip on there, and that'll provide you at a powered site with all of your water needs, and you don't need to use your tank water if you're going by this point here. Now you'll see directly behind it there's a valve.
Yes.
That's a one-way valve. So that means that if you turn on your water pump, water won't pour out here.
Okay.
Now sometimes these can get faulty. There's a fix for it.
Yes.
9 times out of 10, if you take it off, pull it apart very carefully, you'll have to twist the two halves apart with spanners, and very carefully clean inside there.
Yes.
Put some vegetable oil inside.
Okay.
So anything in your pantry, whether it's canola oil, sort of like
Grapeseed oil, doesn't matter. It's
yeah,
oil.
anything like that, or olive oil,
Yeah.
any of those sorts of things. It just needs a little bit of lubrication.
Okay.
Often if it's clean and it's lubricated, that will fix the problem.
Okay, good. Thank you for the tip.
So that's on the road. Now here you've got your fridge ventilation.
Yes.
You're ventilated from the roof
Yes.
all the way down through here. Now it's very, very important with your fridge, please don't block off these vents.
Okay.
Some people do. The reason why is that fridge requires that downdraft of air to work, and if you do block off the vents and restrict circulation of air, it can actually cook your fridge in really hot conditions.
Okay.
So please avoid doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
Now this vent up here is, or your exhaust is for your fridge, that's when it runs on gas.
Yes.
The gas exhaust point there. Now up here you've got your radio aerial.
Yes.
And it looks like you've got an offside
Yes,
awning
we
light.
ordered the light from the offside, yeah.
And this here is your hot water service. So you've got a constant hot water
We
service.
do, yeah. Gas, constant hot water service.
Gas constant.
Yeah.
Now there's pros and cons to these hot waters.
Okay.
If you're at a powered site and you're plugged into the regular water supply, these are fantastic because you've got a limitless supply of water, and provided you've got gas in your bottles, you've got hot water.
Yes.
So they are absolutely brilliant for that application. When you're free camping though, be very careful how much you use your hot water, because there's a time from heating it from cold to hot, and you go through a bit of water in that process.
Okay.
So on tanks, you will go through a bit more water with one of these than what you would on a regular hot water service. So if you do free camping, you can, but just be aware of how much water you're using. Be very conservative on your hot water use.
All right, good tip.
Now over here you've got a fuse.
Yes.
Behind that little black cap, if you unscrew it, you've got a very short 10 amp glass fuse there. It's unlikely you'll ever have to replace it. There's also a switch here.
Yes.
Currently that's switched on. Now, let's say this system is playing up. What you can do is you can turn the switch off,
Yes.
leave it for a few seconds, and then switch it back on again, and that will reset the system.
Okay.
But other than that, you can leave that switch on. You shouldn't need to touch it.
Okay, done.
And that's your hot water service. We'll show you all the controls when we get inside.
Of course.
Now down here we've got your 2 lithium batteries.
Yes.
These lithium batteries are 110 amp hours each, so you've got 220 amp hours worth of power.
Yes.
They cost just under $1,000 each.
Yep.
So please protect your investment and put a padlock
100%.
through here. Make somebody else's van an easier target than yours.
Are they
Now-
sought after, are they?
They are, because they're expensive. Yes,
Yes.
they are sought after. And these are good quality batteries. They're the Power Lithium brand.
Yes.
So yes, just look after it. Put a padlock. Now on top of these cables up here, somewhere in here will be a fuse. I've got to
Yes.
find it. Wow, that's tight, isn't it? Where is it? That's your DC to DC charger.
Yeah.
Where's the fuse?
Like a fuse bank, you mean?
There's just a fuse box. It's only one.
Oh, okay.
One
An inline
single
fuse, isn't it?
An inline fuse. Usually I can find it, but they've packed it in very tight here. It's usually over this side. Oh, it's way back there.
Okay.
There's a little black box behind there. It just looks like a little plastic rubber sort of box.
Yes.
If you pull the cap off on it, it's got one large blade automotive fuse in there, and I think
Okay.
it's orange in colour.
Yes.
So that's the only fuse you got on the batteries, and other than that, you've got about 4 fuses inside, and that's
That
it.
one fuse looks after both of these.
Both batteries.
And that fuse, have we got a spare for that fuse or?
No, you'd probably have to have one. So think of the larger style blade automotive fuses.
Yes.
That's the only one of those. The other fuses inside are just your standard automotive blade fuses, the smaller ones.
But we're going to have to go and find a spare to purchase a spare.
Yeah, so probably at an automotive place.
Yeah.
They'll have that type of thing there.
Okay, done.
Now behind this battery here, you'll have your other water tank.
Yes.
And it's exactly the same in configuration as the other.
Yeah, inline
water
too, I
tank.
can see
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Now in front of your batteries, you have this blue Anderson plug.
Yep.
So what this is for is if you want to add another solar panel or solar blanket.
We ordered that. We did buy a solar blanket too.
Excellent. Now, did it come with a regulator on it? Has it got the little black box?
I
on it?
asked not to
Good.
because I thought I'm very confident that the van's got its own regulator.
It has, yes.
So I chose to not spend an extra couple $100.
No, that's excellent.
Good.
So thank you for doing that.
Yep.
The reason why is a lot of those regulators are designed for your lead acid deep cycle style batteries, and they will damage this system. So if you use an unregulated solar panel or solar blanket, that's the safe way to use it on these. The system will do all the regulation for you. It is, isn't it? I have had the heater inside, so when we head inside it will be a bit warmer. Now over here we've got your 240 volts mains power inlet. It's a 15 amp plug.
Yep.
So you just plug it in and clip it down into that clip. Then this cover clips over it. And your circuit breakers.
Oh, excellent.
Now for your inverter there is a switchover process which we'll show you a bit later on with these circuit breakers.
Tunnel boot, other side.
It is. And on this end of the tunnel boot, you have up here, I'll let you come in with a camera. I'll get that
compliance
pulled out of the way. That's your compliance plate. Just a tip with your tanks too, if you're storing this van, keep the tanks full of water.
Okay.
I know that may sound strange,
Yes.
but the reason why is because bacteria is less likely to breed in your tanks
Okay.
if the tanks are full of water.
Yes.
And some people like to travel with the tanks full of water as ballast. Apparently the caravans ride better
Okay.
with the water. Other people like to empty them so they're not carrying all that extra weight because yes, it will be a disadvantage on your fuel economy.
Yeah.
But a lot of experienced caravanners actually have it full.
It's a good tip. Thank you.
So, all right. So, is there any further questions on the outside apart from the hookup, which we'll do later
the hookup.
on?
Yeah, do later on. No, we're good.
Excellent. There you go. Please come in.
Thank you.
Okay, so you've got map lights both sides of the bed. Now with these map lights, they do rotate. You will have to turn them on and off at the base. That's the only way to turn them on and off. You'll see you've got a cubby storage hole both sides of the bed. You've also got power there. So you've got storage and power. You've got a double 240 volt power point and a USB port on both sides of the bed. Okay. So for your laptops, tablets, phones, all of those things. You do have hanging space. And probably your largest space of storage will be underneath the bed. So if we lift this up, it's got a handle on the front. And you've got all this storage underneath here.
There's your starter kit and your two tallies.
Yes, that's your starter
Safety
kit.
Dave.
Now your two TVs in the boxes, we've stored in there for you the feet. So if you want to freestand your TVs, you can. Yes. Although they do have brackets and you can hang them up as well. Okay. This is your awning hook. Yep. You've also got here your crank handle. This is for your corner stands.
Yes.
To wind them up and down, and your spare wheel as well. Yep. You've got a wheel brace and a 2-ton jack.
Yes.
So all of that's supplied with a van. They've also got here your Safety Dave camera, dash monitor kit.
I'll take that out.
So that all comes with the van as well.
Thank you.
And we'll put your little side sunscreen on there.
Side sunscreen.
Now this here is your inverter, 3000 watt pure sine wave inverter. You shouldn't need to touch this part of it. It should run happily underneath there. The main switch to it is up here. So we'll go through that in a few moments. But you've got all this storage space. Now before you drop this bed down, please be very careful. Make sure that there's no small children or animals or anything like that around, and just very gently drop it down, because like with your bonnet, it will try to drop if you don't hold on to it.
Okay.
Here we go. Now you do have a bolster back here, so you can pull that mattress out a bit and put your bolster in and make the bed a bit longer if you want to. Yep. The covers and the pillows come with the bed, and you've also got all those there. Now this here is your TVs, and yes, they are both smart TVs.
Yes.
They have a DVD slot on the back, and these TVs are 12 volt, so you don't need to be at a powered site to run these TVs. Now we've put the bracket on the back of it for you, and you'll see that over here we've got your bracket point.
Yep.
There's a little clip, not that one, the other one. There's a little black clip, just pull that forward, that'll unclip. Oops. That's it, it comes out. And what you do is with your bracket you've got a taper that tapers down.
Yes. friction.
That's a bit loose. As a matter of fact, they didn't tighten that up. I'm going to tighten that up later on before you go. So So what we do is we just hook this down into the bracket.
Yep.
And then that clips in there. Now you can see how loose that is. Usually that's got friction and it won't leave, but you can watch it from the bed.
Yep.
Or you can bring it all the way around to your
lovely.
dining area. So you can do both areas.
Lovely.
When you're travelling, we would suggest that you take these off.
Yep.
And put them underneath your pillows or your bed covers.
Okay.
Please don't leave them on there when you're travelling. It's not safe. They can bounce off, drop down and do some damage.
Okay.
Now inside this cupboard here for your
What's
TV.
this one for?
That's usually when you fold the bracket back, you can clip it in behind there so it stays against the wall. But you will find that with this space and the TV on there, it won't fold all the way back.
Okay.
But it comes as, if you took the TV off it, you could actually put the bracket up there, fold it back, and it's safely retained. Now with your power, we've plugged in your 12 volt power lead. So you can see up here, I'll clean out the way of the camera.
Yep.
There's your 12 volt lead.
Okay.
We've put that one in because we figure it doesn't matter whether you're a powered side or not. That one will run at 100% of the time.
Okay.
We've got your TV aerial, and you'll see you've got a black button here with a green light.
Yes.
That green light needs to be on to get signal from your TV aerial. That's like your booster or your amplifier.
It's similar for the outside one as well?
It's the same for the outside. So this is
I've
the
got to
only
turn
point.
that one on for the outside.
For the outside one,
Okay.
correct. Now over here we've got a spare TV aerial lead, so if you want to use your TV outside, you don't have to unscrew this one every time.
Thank you.
And also you have the option of 240 volt power as well. So those are all options that are available. Now because you've got two TVs, you might find that some of your other power sources might be in one of the TV boxes down there.
Okay.
So you'll find all those things in there.
Yeah.
Now you just watch your head there.
Of course.
Your TV aerial is just over here. This is your wine guard TV aerial. Now think of this TV aerial as being flat on the roof, so it's laying flat. You want to stand it upright,
Yes.
so it's in position. Now on this crank handle there's an up and down directional. So you just follow what it says up. This is up. If you wind it the same direction that says up, you keep on winding it until it comes to a stop.
Okay.
There we go. Now the aerial is standing upright.
Yes.
Now you can also rotate the aerial.
Directional.
So to do that, you pull this bottom plate down and rotate it, spring loaded. Now what you do when you get to a caravan park is you cheat. You look
watch
what everybody
everybody
else is doing and copy them. They've probably figured it out for you.
Do the look once you pay forever.
Now before you put this back down, always make sure that these two little white arrows here line up with each other. Okay. That's essential. What that does is it lines it up with the cradle so that when we wind it down, which way is down? Hang on. That way. When you wind it down, it's in the correct position to go into the cradle. There we go. And usually when you pack up your caravan and you head off down the road, part of the process is when you walk around, look up. Yes. If you see the aerial standing up, oh, better wind that down. So it's a good idea to do a visual inspection when you head off down the road. Now your smoke alarm is just above the bed, and that is a standard 9 volt battery, so every daylight savings, please change the battery.
Yes.
Now your two fans, these are locked up against the ceiling. To release them, just pull this little handle sideways. Yes. You can actually snap them into multiple positions. You can rotate it back to the bed, or you can bring it and rotate it towards the living area. So you've got a full axis of swing, front and forward. Now up here you've got two buttons. If I press this button over here once, oh no, maybe it's the other way, there we are. That's your fan, so that's 1, 2, 3, that's your maximum speed, and then off. Sometimes it depends which way they got the base around. Now the other button is a timer. For the timer to work, you must first have the fan running. So you turn the fan on, and then what we do is we press the other button once, you'll see one little blue light. That blue light represents 3 hours. If you press it again, second blue light, 6 hours. So you have intervals of 3 hours running time up to 12 hours. Okay. And the idea behind this is at night time, you can go to bed, set the timer, forget about it, go to sleep, it'll turn itself off during the night, which is lovely. We'll turn that off. And then when you finish with it, bring it around like that so it sits in there, and lock it up against the ceiling, and then you can walk in underneath the fan unhindered. So that's your ceiling, for your little ceiling fans. Now your windows. These windows have got 3-stage click-out struts on them. To release them, press the little grey button in the middle of the lever and swing the levers around. And then you've got 1, 2 and 3.
Okay.
As you can see, you can open that window very wide. To release it, just lift it up a bit and drop it down. And you could do that on each stage. The trick is not to go up to the next one. There we go. Now on the base where these levers engage, you'll see there's a little groove or slot in there. When you're camping, you can put these levers into that groove, and that allows a slight gap between the rubber seal and the window. It allows a little bit of air to come up, and that can help prevent condensation forming when you're camping. However, if you do that, please remember before you head off down the road, always lock these levers on the very outside, just to avoid wind damage down the highway. Now you do have a privacy blind as well as a fly screen. If you want to, you can do this. You can have a bit of air come through and have some privacy. Now, one thing we would suggest with these is that when you're travelling or when you've got it in storage for long periods of time, please leave these in the open position, like so.
Yes.
These rollers are underneath spring tension. If you leave them retracted up, month after month, year after year, you'll eventually stretch this fabric, and then when you go to retract it back, it'll start bunching up. So if you leave them in the open position, when it's not in use, these will last you for many years and you get a lot of good service out of them.
Okay.
So there are your windows. Now down here in this cupboard, open this up, we have a little surprise tucked in here.
Yeah.
This is your BM Pro operating system. It's your 12-volt operating system. Now it controls everything. This is like the computer or the module that runs everything. So it controls your solar, your batteries, your lights. All your lights are 12-volt. Water tank level sensors, all those types of things run through this unit. Now you should be able to leave this running in the cupboard. You shouldn't need to touch it. But a few things to know. You'll see down here it's got a QR code that says scan for support. So you can scan that QR code and get information. You can also download a manual online, and also YouTube. I've got some good clips about it as well.
Right.
Now up here you'll see this 240-volt power point. It's plugged in and switched on. Please leave that plugged in and switched on.
Okay.
What that's for is when the mains power is plugged in outside, that's how this little unit gets that power so it can charge your batteries and run the whole van. You'll also notice down here there's a bank of 4 fuses. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think usually number 4 is vacant, but if you pull each of those little black caps off, underneath each cap you'll find a standard blade automotive fuse. So they're all the fuses for inside your van. Now underneath the unit, I won't touch it, but there's a reset button.
Okay.
So let's say you think there's something not right, it's playing up. You can press that button underneath. It'll shut the system down, reboot it, start it back up and reset everything. If you do that, it will take a few minutes for everything to fully settle back down. Now also up here you'll see there's an Odyssey Link 104 module. That's a Bluetooth module. If you want to, it's optional, you can Bluetooth a phone into the system. To do that, type in Odyssey Link 104 on your phone. You'll find an app, download that app, and you just see what's written on the module there, Odyssey Link 104. Download that app, there's a press to pair button on the side, so you pair your phone in.
Yes.
Once that's paired in, everything that you can do on the screen near the door, you can do on your phone.
Oh, that's gold.
And also it has other options that you can add in, things like accessories for BM Pro, things like tyre pressure checking and all that sort of stuff. Now that's the good news about the Odyssey Link 104. There are a couple little downsides with it. Okay. One is that you can only Bluetooth one phone into it.
Yes.
So sorry about that.
Okay.
The other thing is that some people have expressed that when they've Bluetoothed their phone into this system, it seems to lock the screen out. So they're either on the phone or they're on the screen, one or the other.
Okay.
So just be aware that could happen. But that's your BM Pro Battery Plus 35 system. Now what we'll do is we'll head over to the main door and I'll show you how to use the screen. Okay, so this is your BM Pro Trek 3 controller screen. Now at the moment you can see it's dark.
Yes.
It always goes into dark mode after you've used it and it's been sitting vacant for a while. That's just to conserve energy and so you can get sleep at night. Now to backlight the screen, press the light bulb, yep. Give it a good press, there we go. That backlights the screen. Now we're talking about storage before.
Yep.
If you want to put it into storage, press the battery button up here.
Okay.
So that's just completely shut down your 12 volt operating system. Now you'll notice your air conditioner is still running and the microwave because they're on 240 volt power
Yes.
on the mains. Now you turn that off when it's in storage. 24 hours before you head off on your trip, you turn it on. Oops, I've got that button. Where is it? There it is.
Yep.
Plug in your mains power, so you're charging up your batteries, and turn on your fridge. That way when you head off down the road, you've got a cold fridge, fully charged batteries, and this fridge won't run unless this is on.
Okay.
So you must have that on. Now, if you do have it parked outside and the solar panels are not covered, but you've got it in storage, you can leave this system on, turn off all your lights and your fridge, and then your solar panels will trickle charge your batteries for you.
Okay.
So you can do that too. Now down here you've got this water drop button.
Yep.
That's for your water pump. You'll see down here it says pump 1 off.
Yes.
If I press that now, pump 1 on. There's your water pump. So I can turn that on and off. Now the only reason why you would turn that on is if you're free camping, you're running off your tanks. If you're on mains pressure water, there's no need to turn it on.
Okay.
So we'll turn that off.
So what's pump 2?
There isn't a pump 2.
Okay, so it's never going to work.
It's giving you the option to add another pump if you want to for something else. So it's pump 1, pump 2.
Okay.
Now you'll see your battery's fully charged. It's got 13.6 volts. That's normal. That's where it should be. That's a healthy battery.
Yep.
Up here it says AC connected in small letters.
It does.
That's telling you that I've plugged in the mains power outside. When the mains power is plugged in, it is normal to see the solar panel read 0. The mains power overrides that panel. Now if I disconnect the mains power, AC connected will disappear. Under the battery it'll say discharging.
Yes.
Then it'll give you an estimated time remaining in hours of how long it thinks you've got left on those batteries. Now with that you can't run it to 0.
Okay.
So if you're getting down to say 7 or 8 hours, I'd be plugging it in or getting a generator on.
Okay.
Because they're lithium batteries, they'll run, give you good performance, and then suddenly they'll shut down. They'll get to the point where they go to sleep mode. If that happens, the only way to wake them up is to actually jump start them.
Okay.
So avoid doing that. You really don't want to do that. If you're getting down to say 8, 7 hours, charge them back up again.
Okay.
So that gives you your power calculation. Now tank 1 and 2 up here, they're your 2 freshwater tanks, and tank number 4 is your dirty grey water tank. So
and
that's
tank 3 is a spare, is it?
It's a spare. I don't think you'd ever put another tank on, but if you wanted to, you could
do the
put a
weight.
sensor. The weight would be too much. Now this little house button up here, that's your back menu. Let's say we want to change the time.
Okay.
Hold this in for a few seconds until you see setup appear in the middle of the screen. There we are.
Okay.
Now it's telling you it's in the back menu, and all of your buttons have changed their functions. See, water drops down, light bulbs up, back, and then you got edit. If we want to go to clock, we press up.
Yep.
That's on clock, and we want to edit it, so we press the battery.
Yep.
Okay, so now it's flashing 12-hour time. What would you prefer, 12 or 24-hour?
12.
12. Okay. Now, if you wanted to change it, just press up.
Yep.
You can see that it's gone to 24. We'll put it back down again. There we go.
PM, yeah.
Now if we press edit again, we're into the hours. Now currently it's 11 AM, which is correct. Now with these buttons, you have to press them every time. You can't just hold them down.
Okay.
They're the type that you've got to keep pressing it. Press edit. And it looks like it is about 35, that's correct. Now to get out of this screen, there's 2 ways you can do it. One is you can walk away from it. After a couple of minutes, it'll go back to the normal screen. The other way you can do it is to press this house button 3 times. So we go 1, 2, 3. There we go. You're back to your main screen. So that's your BM Pro system. I think the main button to really remember is that battery button up there. Turn it off when it's in storage, and 24 hours before you head off, turn it on, plug in your power, switch on your fridge, and then you're good to go. Now all your light switches are labelled for your main lights. These here will just be all your accessory lights, like your off-site light, the other side. Usually the top button's the main one. And do they have an insect as well, do they? Usually that's the bottom button.
Yep.
So the bottoms will all be the insects, the tops will be your main light there. Now if I turn all these off, I think that's all off. Now, which one's feature? Is it that one?
Yes, it is.
If I turn that one on, the overhead covered lights.
Accent lighting, yeah.
Your bedroom, kitchen is your central area, and then your awning light is your outdoor light. Now your radio, we'll turn it on. This radio's got a CD player It has a DVD player, although it's not currently wired into your TV, but potentially it can.
Yes.
It's got USB, and it's also got Bluetooth.
Oh wow.
Okay, you've got 2 speakers inside, 2 speakers outside.
Sorry, so this has got Bluetooth.
This has got Bluetooth.
Straight from the phone.
Straight from the phone.
And this information is in one of the booklets you provided?
It is,
Great.
absolutely. Now, if you want to split the speakers, let's just turn this up a bit.
Yes.
But hold in and out down. Now you can
And
hear the
outside.
speakers are on outside, but they're
Yes.
off inside.
Yes.
I press all. Now they're all on. 2 quick presses. Now the outside speakers are off, inside speakers are on.
Okay.
And then you've got all, puts all 4 back on again. So that's your little radio there. Okay, let's look at the inverter. Now currently you'll see over here you've got this switch, and it's switched off, there's no lights on. Before we switch your inverter on, we have to go outside and do a switch over on your circuit breaker board. So we'll head out there, I'll show you how to do it.
Yep, let's do that.
And I've got a schematic drawing which I'm going to give you.
Oh, excellent.
It shows you the settings. There we go. So coming around to your circuit breaker box, you'll see here one switch is down and these switches are up. Now the down position is off and the up position is on. So at the moment you'll see you've got here normal supply and alternate supply. Your alternate supply is your inverter.
Okay.
That's switched down, so that's switched off, and your normal supply is up, so that's switched on. So if we want to go to inverter, we have to first switch everything off. So we turn them all down. So that's all turned off.
Yep.
We've shut off the normal supply. Then we flick alternate supply up. Now you'll see in the list in the box here it says position 2 alternate supply. So this is up and you'll see the number 2 in the middle there.
Yes.
So that means it's in the correct position for your inverter.
Yep.
If you want to do the opposite, you press the inverter off, bring them up, and it says position 1 normal supply. So you'll see it's up on normal supply and that's got position 1.
Yep.
So that's the correct position for your mains. So what we've done is we've turned now with the normal supply off, we've got the alternate supply on. Now we can head inside and turn on your inverter. So just flick this little switch here in a few seconds.
So wait a sec, so the inverter is separate
That's a 12-volt operating system.
as well?
So that's operating most things in the Caravan.
Yes.
This is only going to operate things like your microwave. So when we turn that on, you
Okay.
heard that little beep.
Yes.
That was your microwave turning on.
Okay.
So that is currently running on your batteries at the moment through the inverter,
Yes.
which is great.
And that will beeping will stop in a moment, or?
No, that beeping's the fridge because it's timed out on gas. Somebody's left it on gas with no gas and it's timed out.
Okay.
So I'll reset that in a minute. Okay. So that's how you turn it on. Now if we want to turn it off, we do just the opposite. We flick this switch here off.
Yes.
So that's power off, and then we go outside and switch the two over.
So with the inverter, it's going to look after all the heavy use 240 stuff, which is your microwave
Microwave and
Fridge.
like your power points and
and aircon as well.
no. So your fridge you run on gas. When
Okay.
you've got it, and that's why it's complaining because I'm not plugged into the mains power at the moment.
Okay.
So I'll just reset that to stop it from beeping.
Yep.
Just hold this button down here for a couple of seconds.
So when you're offshore power, the fridge is gas. The fridge doesn't go through the inverter. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So that saves your batteries.
Yes.
That saves your batteries. Now, normally the inverter is not wired up to your air conditioner.
Yes.
You might have specified, I can try, but standard from the factory, they won't. No, it's not wired in. So that's not standard from the factory because these things really do suck the
Yes.
power out of the batteries.
Yes.
Some people do ask for it, but you might want an extra battery or something if you're going to do that.
Yes.
Because yes, these things are very, very thirsty, or run your batteries down quickly. The rest of the van, all your lighting, your fans, all those types of items are all 12 volt,
Yes.
and they won't use much power. With LED lights, they're quite energy efficient.
So you're best using the...
Yeah, if you use the fans or open up the windows, you'll be quite surprised, or the hatches, you'll be quite surprised. They will actually let quite a bit of air in.
Okay.
But this is ideal for if you're at a powered site. It'll keep you warm, it'll keep you cool.
Yes.
But in a pre-camping situation, if you want to run one of these, you might be better off with a generator and run that for a while. And then when you've got the cabin cool, turn off the generator. And then you can sort of use your fans and things like that for a time and then maybe turn it on again.
So this is heating and
Yes, it is.
air conditioning.
Yes. And it's also dehumidifying. If you want to, there's a dehumidifier function, and there's a fan in there too. So there's about 4 different functions this thing will run on.
Yep. Okay.
So what I'm going to do now is I'll go back out and I'll switch the mains back on because I need it for some of the other demonstrations. Oh,
Yep. No, I'm sorry.
it's on. Yeah, good. Now I can turn
I'm
it on.
just playing with it. Yep.
So actually, one thing I did forget to show you over here is the hatch. So this has only got the forward hatch. Now with your wrist, just think of it as like a rocker motion like this.
Okay.
So you just do a rocker motion on the handle like that.
Okay.
So rock and slide.
Okay.
And you can put that any position you like along that track.
Yes.
And then you bring it all the way back, make sure those 2 little hooks engage in.
Yes.
That's locked down.
And that's your security. 'Cause you
That's
don't
your
want someone
security.
breaking in from up there.
All right.
Or rain. Now you do have a fly screen as well as a sun block out.
Yes.
And again with these I would suggest, especially when you're travelling, leave them open. This particular fly screen, they're susceptible. If they get airflow through them when you're travelling, they can stretch the
blow
fabric and then they start bunching up. Whereas if you leave them like this stowed away, it won't happen.
Okay.
That'll stay in good condition for a long time. We'll show you the kitchen.
Yeah.
Now with your kitchen you've got a touch light over it. You see there's a little white symbol down one end. You just touch the white symbol. And also your range hooders touch. It can also fold up too when you're not using it. Here we go. So
So it's just a touch release.
just a push up and then you push on it again. You've got to put a bit of force on it. Drops down and then you've got your touch control panel there for a lovely
Yes.
clear visual view. Now we've put in a couple of
Thank
cup
you. Spotted that.
stubby holders for you. That's in there. Oh, and it looks like there's a spare key ring in there too, down in the bottom of one of those stubby holders.
Okay.
Now if I get your stove open, this has got 2 safety features on it. So one is on the lid. You'll probably hear it when I lift it up. Hear that click?
Yeah.
If this lid drops down whilst you're using it, it'll shut down the gas burners.
Okay.
The other safety feature is your 240 volt electric solid hot plate. Now potentially a child could come along and just turn that on. So to avoid that from happening, just behind the camera you'll see there's a switch up there that says stove.
Oh yes.
If I switch that on, now I've got power, I can turn this one on.
So this is electric and they're gas.
Gas, yes. If I switch that off, I won't get power to this hot plate. So it means if a child comes in and turns the knob, they can't accidentally turn it on. Now you do have a grill here. It comes with a tray. And in your little drawer, we've got a handle for your grill tray. Now your grill is gas as well. So everything on the stove is gas except for that one hot plate. You've got your little electric piezo so you can ignite it. Now with this stove you'll have to hold...
There's no matches needed. Is
No
it
matches, just hold that in. You press this in, turn it in and hold it, light it up, you'll see it light, and then hold it in for another couple of seconds. It's got a heat sensor in there. That has to get hot enough for the gas to stay on, otherwise you release the knob and it will go off. Now with your fridge especially, when you first get to camp and you turn on your gas bottles, there may be a big air pocket in there. The quickest way to get the air pocket out is to light your stove.
Okay.
So if you hold the button in, now I've got no gas at the moment because I've turned off the gas bottles, but you just hold it in, keep clicking, you'll eventually see it light. Now it might burn for a bit, then start to simmer down, and you might need to relight it. That often happens when you're trying to get the air through. Second time you light it, it should be lit and it shouldn't have any problems after that. And
Are the
that'll
gas
run happily.
bottles at what capacity? Half or
Full.
full? Oh, excellent.
They're full. We've filled them up here for you.
Thank you.
Please make sure it's nice and cold before you drop this down. And like with every gas appliance, underneath this stove you've got a red tap down here. That's your gas isolation tap for the stove. Now you do have a water filter tap. Under the sink you've got a water filter cartridge. Now with these taps, they will filter both a tank and your normal fresh water. So if you hook into mains pressure water, no problems, that'll filter your water. Now just a word of warning with your tanks. If your tanks have been sitting around for many, many months and that water is stale, even though this is a filtered tap, I wouldn't drink that water. So before you head off, I'd flush your tanks out, put fresh water in, obviously just protect your stomach. You don't want an upset stomach whilst you're camping. Now inside this little drawer here, we've got your bottle of Aqua Chem Blue. So it's got a nice lavender scent and that'll break down the toilet paper and the solids. Your 2 remote controls for your TVs are in here. This is your radio remote control. Now to operate this you'll have to be standing right
Yes,
in
line
front of
sight.
it. I don't think you'll ever use this, but if you're wondering what this black wire's for, in the old days I used to plug that into the radio, put this sensor somewhere else in the van and point the remote control to that.
Yeah.
Now you get two sets of keys. You got the set you've got plus this set, and they'll open and close everything in the van. These keys are just extras. Just pop them in a cupboard or a drawer when you get home. This clip here is for your outdoor TV bracket. It's just the spare. We have here the spanners if you need to tighten up your TV bracket.
Yes.
That's there, as well as the keys for your radio if you want to pull it out and get to the wiring.
Okay.
It's there. These little grey buttons here are for your fridge. They're the fridge door locks. There's a couple of spares in there. And I don't think you'll ever replace that, but that's for your cassette outside.
Okay.
Next to it you'll see a clear hose, and this is a little float that goes up and down in the hose with the water.
Okay.
It's just a spare one of those.
Okay.
How often do we use?
Every time you empty the cassette. So you'll put the prescribed amount in. Now it looks like you're going to use tablets.
Yes.
So if that's the case, I probably wouldn't use that. I'd probably stick to your tablets. So put it in before you use it. You'll do your full cycle with your cassette. Then what will happen is you'll finish, you'll go to empty it, you'll empty it out, clean it, and then you'll do your next cycle of tablets. So every time you empty it, put the next lot in ready to go. Now with tablets you will have to mix them with a bit of water.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's your kitchen area there. Now coming around here, we just move this bag.
So
is that
just
right?
with this one, so that's filtered water,
Yes, it is.
but it comes from the same source.
It comes from the same source.
Unfiltered.
That's
and
unfiltered
filtered,
and
but
filtered.
from the same tanks.
From the same,
Okay.
all from the same.
And just to confirm, so those filters, we can just change those out when they become...
Yeah, so that old, there's just a single cartridge filter, just
Done.
change it over. And you can order those online
Yeah,
if you want
excellent.
to. Now underneath this seat here, if I pull the cushion out, there we go.
I might just come around here, Ed.
Yep, and lift up the lid. Is your hot water service.
Okay.
Now the yellow tap is your gas.
Yes.
And sometimes they have a water one in there, but oh yes they do, there's a blue one. That's your water.
Okay.
So again, they're both on, you don't need to turn them off, but if you thought there was something faulty with this unit,
Yep.
you can turn it off.
Okay.
Now you've also got storage here, you can access it from the front door, or you can take this timber lid off and the cushion out and get in that way. So you shouldn't
Nice
need to
big tab.
touch what's underneath there, but that's where it's located. I'll just pop this back in.
It's safe to store things in there, isn't it?
Yes, you can put
I'd
things
isolate
here.
with a tub or something so it's not
Yeah.
going to block
Yeah,
the
I'm
pipes.
Or some people put a little wooden board or something in
Yeah.
between there, that's
So
up to
I
you.
just thought ventilation, is it a...
No, that's fine,
needed?
because it's ventilated
fine?
from the outside.
Okay.
Let me just pop your cushion back in there. Now in the cupboard above this seat, if we open it up, we have your hot water service. So this is your controller unit here. You can see on the screen a very faint 46 degrees on there. That means the system's actually on. It's just into its low power mode because it's not being used.
Okay.
Now to turn it off, press the red button down here. That powers it down. To turn it on, press it again and on it comes. And that's what the screen looks like when you're about
And
to
we
use
can
it.
adjust the temperature.
Up and down. The highest you can go is 51 degrees.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's way too
Yep,
hot
so
for me.
you can set that temperature to whatever temperature you want.
Okay.
And you can go from Celsius to Fahrenheit, but I'll leave it on Celsius
Please,
for you.
yeah.
Now to use this system, what we need to do is either if you've got your mains pressure water, you don't need your pump, or if you're on your tanks, you'll use your pump.
Yes.
So we'll turn the pump on. So we'll press that little water drop button.
Do you want to press the water drop button?
There's a storage under here.
Yeah, there
Like,
is.
you can lift this
Yes.
upholstery off.
Yes. Yes,
The
you
water
can-
drop button.
So
Can
the
you see
water drop button. Okay, water pump's on.
Can you hear it?
Now what I want you to do is watch this screen.
Yes.
I'm going to turn this tap on.
Okay.
You'll see that that's lit up. It's at a
Yes.
lower temperature.
Yes.
There should be a gas flame appear in the middle between the tap and that little spinning thing in a few seconds.
Okay, that's when it's kicked in, is it?
That's when it's kicked in. Although it probably won't, because I've turned the gas off. We'll just wait
Yeah.
for it.
Oh, will it tell you gas not working? Or
Yeah, that's what we're waiting for. Here we are,
Yeah, error code.
error code 1.
Okay.
So if you see E1 or E2,
Yes.
it means you've got no gas.
Okay.
So normally what you'll see is the gas flame light up in the middle.
Yep.
And it was on 13 degrees there. It would start at 13, then you'll start to see that temperature creep up.
Okay.
and it'll keep on creeping up till it gets to that
Whatever
preset temperature,
presets.
and it'll hold
Yeah.
it there. Now, let's say you haven't got gas. You'll see the E1. You will waste a bit of water, obviously.
Okay.
But what you like to do is just head outside and turn on your gas tanks,
It's self-evident. Yeah.
and then away you go. Now, if this thing is playing up, you just go outside and flick off that switch I showed you.
Yes.
Wait for a few seconds, switch it back on, and that will reset it.
Okay.
And it will work okay.
Okay.
Now, up here you've also got AC and fridge.
Yep.
They're just 240 volt isolators.
Okay.
That's your air conditioner and your fridge.
Okay.
If you turn the fridge one off, it'll still run on gas. It just won't run on 240. That's
Okay.
all it is. I'd leave those two switches on.
Done.
Unless you're plugged into mains power, you won't need to turn them off anyway.
Okay.
Now, your table. A couple of tips with this table. If I pull it out, you can see that these two surfaces fold back against each other.
Yep.
I would put a bit of matting here, maybe a bit of that non-slip matting you put in your drawers.
Okay.
That will protect these two
Oh,
surfaces.
it doesn't.
When they rub.
They don't rub, and it'll stay looking brand new for the rest of the serviceable life of the van. Now, if I fold this back, you'll also see that this leg post here can touch a bit against there. I've seen people cut the bottom out of old stubby holders and
Yes.
slide it up.
Okay.
And that will protect the cabinetry and the leg as well. It's optional, but
That's
you
good.
can do that. Now, on both sides of this cupboard, you'll see there's a cable duct.
Yes.
So you can run your cables out from inside the cupboard. Inside the cupboard, there's a double 240 volt power point, a double USB port, and a 12 volt socket. So all of your power needs
Be
are
a
there.
good charging station.
Yes, you do your charging and things from there. Now, your footrests, please, if you get small kids in here, tell them this is not
Here, sit on the end.
a seat. Please tell them that. Now, your heater air conditioner, you can run it by remote control, or you can do it by touch. That's on and off,
Okay.
and you can touch the controls there too. Now, if you need to clean the air filters, you'll see there's two grills underneath here. There's a rectangle lug on each side of the unit, just up here.
Yes.
Yep.
Pull those out sideways, that'll pull the filter out with it, and then you can vacuum them and slot them back in. You might need a little bread and butter knife or a screwdriver or something.
Okay.
Lever it out. Yes.
Pull it out that way. So that's how you turn your heater air conditioner on and off. I'll just pop that back here so we don't... Now with your...
You had to put this back down.
That's all right. With your leg rests, it's got two stays spring-loaded underneath there. You put a hand both sides and you just lift it up a little bit. Hang on. Hang on. So you lift it up a little bit, press the buttons each side. So at the end of the stay, you'll feel it underneath there. You just press the buttons and then drop it down. And away it goes. So it's nice and easy to use. Now your microwave, I would suggest that when you're travelling, you take the plate out.
And stash it in.
Yes. So you've been doing your study already. So pop that in there. And I might move this out the way.
Yep.
Sorry, I'll just put this, I don't know, I'll put it there for the minute, just so it's out of the
Also
way.
the shower head, do we need to take that down?
Yes, but I've cable tied it up for you.
Okay.
Now your fridge. This is a three-way fridge. Like I said before with your BM Pro, turn on your BM Pro,
Yes.
plug in your mains power,
Yes.
switch on this fridge and put a bottle of water in it. Give this fridge something to work on. It
Okay.
needs that. And these do take a while to cool down. Now these have got door locks on them. So when you're camping, you unlock them and you can open and close the doors. And when you're driving down the road, you lock them all up. Then the doors won't open. With the freezer, leave air pockets, allow air circulation.
Okay.
With a three-way fridge, it needs that air circulation.
With
If
the
you pack
goods
it
in the fridge and
Yeah,
with the
Don't
freezer
cram it in.
especially, don't cram it in there. If there's no air circulation, it won't work as efficiently.
Okay.
When you got it in storage, you've got this top and bottom on both doors. You can air the fridge out.
done.
There you go. Now down here we've got your control panel.
Yeah.
At the moment it's got this button over here. That serves two purposes. One, it's a power on and off.
Okay.
And two, it's a reset button. So to power it down, you do a quick press and then hold it down for a few seconds. That's off. Hold it down for a few seconds. And that's on.
And at the moment
So
it's on 240.
Yep.
In storage, you power it
Turn it
down
off.
and leave
Yeah.
the doors.
Turn it off. Yeah, and leave the doors open. Now at the moment it's set on automatic. I would leave it there.
Okay.
What auto does is it intuitively decides what's the best option. If you plug in the mains power, it'll always go for the 240.
Okay.
If it can't find 240, it'll go straight for gas. That's your free camping. And then if you are in a situation where you're not plugged in the mains power, but you hook your car up, it'll detect it and it'll go straight over to the battery.
Excellent.
So do it all for you.
Because we got the DC to DC charging as well.
In there,
so
that'll
that's
help
what that does.
push it through. Now, if we go to mode, this button up here, I can manually select. You can see the battery is alarming.
Okay.
That's telling you the car's not hooked up, I'm not happy, I'm not getting the power. Now, your battery function will only maintain what's in the fridge. You don't want to run that for your normal running. It's only when it's on the car. Your two most efficient forms of cooling is your mains power and your gas.
Okay.
Now, if I press mode again, I can manually select gas.
Okay.
Now, this has got an automatic ignition system. So in a few seconds, you'll hear a piezo clicking in the bottom of the fridge.
But the gas is turned off at the moment?
It is turned off. So if it ignites, that will ignite, the light will stay on, no problems. What happens if you've got no gas?
Yep.
You'll hear that piezo going, it'll run for a while, then it will pause. Then it'll do a second cycle.
Yeah, is that why it was clicking?
Clicking,
Before?
yes, because it was trying to reignite on gas. Then it will pause, and then it will do a third cycle with the piezo. Now, if that won't ignite, this is going to time out and start alarming. The only way to fix it is hold this button down here for 2 seconds. You'll hear it go beep. That'll reset it and start the whole cycle all over again. That's how you fix it. Then you go to mode again. We can press 240, or if I go to auto, it's gone straight for it. Now, temperature, the thermometer here, 4 is fine for freezing cold Ballarat. If you're heading up north, you might need to put it up to 5, maximum cooling. That does both zones at the same time. You can't split them. Now, a couple of tips to help this fridge run better, apart from the keeping the air circulating. This back wall you've got here, if that gets hot, there's direct sun on it, that's going to make it harder for this fridge to work. So one thing you can do is you can shade that wall.
Okay.
The other thing you can do is try and keep the cabin temperature down. If you keep that temperature down, that will help the fridge to run better too.
Okay.
Now, before you head off, make sure you lock all the door locks. And directly below the fridge, you've got another gas isolation tap and your water pump.
Okay.
So you'll find those items underneath there. Now, this here is your sliding door lock. When you're driving, leave this locked.
Yep.
And the bottom lock down here, press the top knob down. That'll lock the door. It won't go anywhere when you're driving.
Okay.
When you're at camp, unlock this, slide it down, and then just use this one here as your day-to-day. So you've got your side button releases it, and top button locks it. So that can be your day-to-day lock.
Yeah.
This is just for when you're travelling.
Okay.
Now, your toilet's got a swivel seat on it. So you can make more room in here if you're toweling off or doing whatever. You've got a little lever on the front. That opens and closes the valve inside the toilet.
Okay.
So you open up the flap, do what you've got to do, hold the blue button down to flush it, and then make sure you seal all that goodness back in there again. Keep things smelling fresh. Now, on top of the toilet, you'll see a cassette symbol.
Yes.
When the red light comes on, that means it's time to do the walk of shame, as they say. Up here, you've got your fan and your winder, so that's for your...
Yep.
And it's the same in the shower, so you can turn it on and off with a black button.
Okay.
And you can wind the hatch up and down. And coming back here, you've got a touch light over your sink area, as well as your regular downlight there. Now, your washing machine, this is a 240 volt washing machine. It does cold wash only. You will only get small loads into it. You're looking like a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, those sorts of loads. You'll see there's a basket in the top. That serves 2 purposes. 1, it holds the drum in position when you're driving, so it doesn't bounce around. And 2, it's a clothes peg basket. So put your clothes pegs in here. You've got a handle. Pull this little lever sideways. You can take that out to the clothesline with you. Now, on the side of the drum, it's probably hard to see with your camera, but just down here, there's a lint filter on the side of the drum.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yes.
That's your lint filter. And you've got a blue button on the front here. That's your mains power. If I press that, that turns it on.
Okay.
It'll always go to the 30-minute long cycle to start off with. Now, if I press process here, I can go to manual cycles. I can go to a wash and rinse, a rinse and spin, a spin only, or I can go to the last one, 18-minute rapid wash. That's your full cycle wash, rinse, spin, all in one quick cycle. And most people I know use that cycle. You can adjust the water level up and down. And that's your start button there. I'll turn that off. There we go.
And you can use any washing detergent.
You can. I would personally. Some people have got those little travel. They're like a paper sort of thing you put in there because they're just lightweight and very compact. Some campers use those. I would personally preferably use a liquid if you're not doing that, just because with a washing machine like this, it's easier just to dissolve it in and get it working around. Now you do have a travel lock on your screen door. We open it up. I have cable tied the shower head on for you. So when you get home, cut those off.
Yep.
Yes, when you're travelling, I'd suggest you take it out, put it on the floor, wrap it in something soft, a towel or an oven mitt or a sock. Now the other thing you can do is if you're travelling, a lot of people throw their washing basket in the bottom. They'll put a rubber mat down there, put their washing basket because it's just out of the way. You can put your head in the washing basket.
Okay.
Or the other option is you can put not cable ties, Velcro.
Yep.
Velcro around the head.
Yep.
Yeah. Now you do have a light up here. So if you want light in the shower, and then you've got your regular fan and winder up there. There we go, I'll just lock that.
Excellent.
You've got in here some warranty information, some contact information and some certificates, which I'll go through in a second. And in the very back of the folder, you've got all of your instruction manuals. So every appliance throughout the Caravan has an instruction manual. Now the only thing that doesn't come with a printed manual, unfortunately, is your 12-volt operating system, the BM Pro. You can download it online, and don't worry, I'll go over it with you quite extensively today.
Excellent,
We'll make sure that you're not left out in the dark.
Distracted.
Oh, that's all right. So with your warranty, you've got a Care of Caravan sheet on the front here. So there's Care of Caravan, and there's also some warranty information in behind there.
Okay.
Now the overall warranty on your van in its complete entirety is a 12-month warranty, so everything in the van is covered by that. Now on the chassis of the van, the body of the van and your batteries that are lithium, you have a 5-year warranty.
Okay.
And your appliances will have their individual warranties.
Okay.
Now part of that warranty is to keep it serviced. So the way your 5-year warranty works is your first service due is within 3 to 6 months, 1,000 kilometres. By doing that service, it activates your 5-year warranty. Okay. Now, don't worry about the 1,000 Ks. If you actually bring it in with more than 1,000 Ks, we're happy. We want you to bed the van in, bed in the brakes, use it. It's more within the 6-month period, so that's what we're really interested in. Bring it within that 6-month period, and then after that, it's just your regular 10,000 K 12-month service. Yep. Now, for your first service, we'd probably suggest that you at least take that to a Design RV. You don't have to, but it'd probably be preferable that you take it to a Design RV dealership.
Because the two that we're aware of is here and Pakenham.
Pakenham, correct, yes.
So as long as we go to an authorised Design RV service centre, that's fine?
That's fine. I'll just do that for the first one only.
Okay.
After that, it's up to you.
Okay.
You can go to any authorised Caravan service repair agent, provided they're licensed to service caravans, they can service the van.
And as long as it's authorised service care agent, then the warranty is
you can go to a non-Design RV dealership.
Okay.
So you can go to Jayco or one of those other sort of brands,
close at home.
or even a caravan dealership that might be, say, a second-hand caravan dealership, but are still licensed to service caravans.
Okay.
If you do that, though, please keep your receipts because obviously we won't have a record for it.
Yes.
So you can be travelling around Australia, you can stop in Queensland or WA, get it serviced along the way at another caravan dealership, and your warranty is still covered.
Good, thank you.
So that's peace of mind.
Yes, very much so.
So that's your warranty. Now over here we've got a contact sheet. This is for all of your appliances. So let's say you're a long way from home, something goes wrong with an appliance. You've got a direct contact number there. What you can do is you can ring them up, they'll try to troubleshoot with you over the phone. If they can't resolve the issue on the phone, then what they'll do is they'll find a dealership near where you're located to try to work out that warranty issue for you. Now you get a couple of certificates too. This is a build compliance certificate from the factory and also an electrical installation declaration.
Yes.
So please hold on to these two forms. They're good for if you want to sell the caravan one day.
Okay.
People will ask for those pieces of paper. Now also we have here a towing checklist, And I think this is really good, seeing though you're first timers.
Yeah.
It's basically just a checklist of things to look out for before you head off down the road. Now, don't think it's conclusive. I have noticed on there it doesn't say to wind down the TV aerial, for example.
Okay.
So feel free to add to it. But it's just a general guideline of things to check off before you head off down the road. Now, this here's your warranty registration certificate. All it's saying is, as of today's date, the 14th of the 11th, your warranty starts on the van.
Yes.
So that's the only thing you've got to sign today. Can I just have a signature there, please? There we go. Thanks, Martin.
We're going to both sign here.
Customer's name.
Oh, just
Oh, well.
done. Sorry, done.
They're not too worried about that. Now, this is your Vic Roads registration certificate. It's paid for the year.
Yes.
That's your registration number and all the other
Is that
details
how much
there.
the registration is?
Yes, it is.
Another rainy afternoon, I don't know what I'm to do. I just miss you more than anything. It's way too quiet in the house, I'm just wasted on the couch. Guess I don't wanna feel anything. Wish you'd stayed here beside me. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Wish you'd stayed here right with me. I can't shake that feeling that we said goodbye too soon.
So we've just stopped at Balan, which is a little servo on the highway coming back from Ballarat. Sounds right.
Yes.
And as you can see behind us, we're proper caravanners now. We've got the caravan. It's in the forecourt at a servo. That makes it real. That makes us real caravanners.
Heavy caravan.
Yeah, we can't stop looking at it, can we, dear? That.
Our memories